was all we got, and now is all there is. Right now, right here, right now. Woo! Well, reach deep inside, free your mind from the binds of time. Right now, right now, this is your destiny. All you see, yeah, it was meant to be. Right now, right now, give it all you got to give. Just live, this is all there is. Right here, right now, right now. From the stars to the ground, all around, life is going down. Right now, right now. Guilt or regret. And if you're thinking about tomorrow, you ain't seen nothing yet. And if you're thinking, stop. From the night now, let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Do 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 the dance of joy. Do 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 the dance of joy. Don't do 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 the dance of joy. Yeah, it's all happening right here, right now. That's all we got happening right now, right here, right now. It's all happening right now. From the time to back, all happening right now. here, right now. Woo! Well, reach deep inside, free your mind from the binds of time. Right now, this is your destiny. All you see, yeah, it was meant to be. Right now, give it all you got to give. Just live, this is all there is. Right here, right now, from the stars to the ground, all around, life is going down. Right now, right now. Guilt or regret. And if you're thinking about tomorrow, you ain't seen nothing yet. And if you're thinking, stop. From the night now, let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Do 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 the dance of joy. Do 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 the dance of joy. Don't do 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 the dance of joy. Yeah, it's all happening right here, right now. That's all we got happening right now, right here, right now. It's all happening right now. From the time to die, all happening right now. Now is all we got, and now is all there is. Right now, right here, right now. Woo! It's all happening right now. It's all happening right now. It's all happening. Well, reach deep inside, free your mind from the binds of time. Right now, this is your destiny. All you see, yeah, it was meant to be. Right now, give it all you got to give. Just live, this is all there is. Right here, right now, from the stars to the ground, all around, life is going down. Right now, right now. Regret. And if you're thinking about tomorrow, you ain't seen nothing yet. And if you're thinking, stop. The night now, let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Free your mind from the night now. Let yourself go, stomp your feet, clap your hands and make some noise. Do the dance of joy. Do 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 the dance of joy. Do 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 the dance of joy. Don't do 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 the dance of joy. Yeah, it's all happening right here, right now. That's all we got happening right now, right here, right now. It's all happening right now. From the time to die, all happening right now. Now is all we got. Now is all there is. Right now, right here, right now. Woo! It's all happening right now. 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 Well, reach deep inside, free your mind from the binds of time. Right now, this is your destiny. All you see, yeah, it was meant to be. Right now, give it all.
Good morning. I said good morning. morning. There we go. My name is Jamie Hudson Craig, and I am a guest musician at times and a member here at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. My pronouns are she and her. Welcome to our Sunday celebration. You ready to celebrate? Yes, yes. For those of you on Facebook, we would greatly appreciate it if you would share this live stream to bring more of us together in the energy of spirit. I'll pause for you to do this now. Ding, 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 ding. Wonderful, thank you. Our work as a community is to illuminate the spirit truth that we all belong together. We belong to each other. And in that, we advocate for the honoring of diversity, equity, and inclusion with respect to ability, status, age, ethnicity, gender identity, national origin, physical characteristics, race, religion, and sexual orientation. At Columbia CSL, we discover the truth of who we are through our vision, contributing to a world that works for everyone. We are a diverse community of belonging and growth, sharing the light and joy within ourselves while learning to see it in others. We have a saying here. Do you know what it is? What is it? Is like what? Singing is like praying twice. Look at you go. So we begin each service with a song. I invite you to stand as we sing together Holy, Holy Way by Ricky Byers Beckwith, and you'll find the lyrics on the screen.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me know that love is all around me.
Let me know that love is all around me.
Oh, let me know that love is all around.
Let me know that love is all around me.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall.
Let me learn from all the ways I fall.
Oh, let me know that love can heal us all.
Let me know that love can heal us all.
Oh, let me know that love can heal us all.
Let me know that love can heal us all.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me share the good that's overflowing.
Let me share the good that's overflowing.
And let me care for those around the world.
Let me care for those around the world.
Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Dance break, hug break, greetings break.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy
Yes, isn't it wonderful to start the day in a joyful noise together? Woo! All right. Well, I invite you to set an intention for this week. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into the feeling of that intention right now, and now, and now. As you open to receive Spirit's guidance throughout our time together. Now it is my pleasure to introduce today's guest musician, our very own amazingly talented Felicia Taylor. Please help me welcome Felicia.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Woohoo! All right. I am going to be doing an Emily Sunday song. It is called Breathing Underwater. It's actually one of my favorite songs of hers. It just, the very first line in the song just resonates with so much of my life. So I love to sing this song. I believe in miracles, 'cause it's a miracle I'm here. Yes, you could call me spiritual, 'cause physical is fear. And it's safe to say the storm's gone away, and I'm dancing on the morning after. And I love to stay, but my home's the other way. And I miss the love and laughter, something like flying. How to describe it? My God, I'm breaking under water, something like freedom, freedom. My God, I'm breaking under water. Every moon and every star knows who you are, you know. So if ever that it gets too dark, you never are alone. And it's safe to say you surrender the day to give back all the love you borrowed. And I hope that I will survive the yesterday, and today is just some tomorrow. Something like flying, how to describe it? Oh my God, I'm breathing underwater. Something like freedom, freedom. My God, I'm breathing underwater.
describe it. My God, I'm breathing underwater. Something like freedom. Freedom. My God, I'm breathing underwater. Something like lying to describe it. My God, I'm breathing underwater. Something like freedom. Freedom. My God, I'm breathing underwater. Something like flying to describe it. My God, I'm breathing underwater. Something like freedom. Oh, freedom. My God, I'm breathing underwater.
Oh, thank you, Felicia, for that amazing gift. If this is your first time experiencing Columbia Center for Spiritual Living, well, lucky you. Yeah. We welcome you and thank you for joining us today. We want you to know that no matter who you are or whatever your spiritual path, you are welcome here. There are a variety of ways to connect and engage in this community. We invite you to continue watching the slides at the end of service for announcements and special events, classes, etc. Links with more details can be found on our website calendar at columbiacsl.com/events, or feel free to email us at info@columbiacsl.com for more information. So now, let us consciously engage in spiritual practice together. We invite you to settle in. Center yourself in this moment and find that sacred place within where spirit is all there is. We are blessed to have a contemplative reading by Cindy Pridgeon, then a guided meditation and affirmative prayer by Reggie Kapp.
Good morning. Faith is Our First Name by Dr. Ken Gordon, Science and Mind Daily Guides, August 2022. Our reading begins with two quotes. "The earth is the very quintessence of the human condition," from Hannah Arendt. And from Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind, page 423, "I would rather see a student of this science prove its principle than to have them repeat all the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered." One of the primary tenets of New Thought metaphysics is that when you change your beliefs and focus, your experience adjusts accordingly. Holmes formulated the apex tool of this by introducing spiritual mind treatment, or affirmative prayer, as a way to center, affirm, and set the mind in the direction of desires. His formulation consists of certain steps to habituate a new belief and attitude. The steps I use are recognition, unification, realization, gratitude, and release. For me, these 5 steps were the catalyst for a complete change of life. One of my mentors, Dr. Jim Terrell from Costa Mesa, explained why the steps are required to a student who was questioning the need. Terrell said, "It's like learning to habituate and embody anything. It requires consistent application, like driving a car." Terrell reminded all the students how they felt when they first got behind the wheel of an automobile, how uncomfortable and hectic it was. And now we drive on almost full automatic, never thinking twice about clutch, brake, signal, steering, etc. It becomes innate to who we are. Treatment prayer works the same way. We first learn the mechanics, and then it becomes part of our nature. Please join me in this affirmation. Truth is my first nature, and all of life is answered prayer. And so it is. Namaste.
Thank you, Cindy. Truth is my first nature, and all of life is answered prayer. Namaste. So let us go within. If you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. Settle into a relaxed, comfortable position. Know that you are fully supported. And focus on your breath. As you inhale, feel the air moving through your nostrils. Feel your torso slowly expanding, and then feel it contracting as you gently push that breath out of your body. Feel the healing energy of life moving through you. As you feel your lungs filling up with oxygen, know that this healing element is life-sustaining. It is making its way to all cells of your body. Simply breathe at whatever pace is comfortable for you. Relax more and more with each breath. This breath is life-supporting, and it's always happening, even when we aren't aware of it. Breathe into that awareness. Directing our attention to our breath reminds us to be grateful. We're grateful for the air that we breathe. Grateful for all the automatic functions of our bodies. Grateful for life itself. In your body, where do you feel gratitude? It might be in your heart space. It might be somewhere else. What does it look like? It may be a golden ball or a bright speckled light or something else. Whatever this gratitude looks like, whatever it feels like, allow it to shine and expand, getting bigger and bigger until gratitude fills your entire being. From this place of gratitude, we are ready to receive. We are ready to receive every answered prayer. So let us pray. I recognize there is only one divine energy that is everything, everyone, every thought, experience, and creation. From the farthest stars to the tiniest cells of my body, and in all the spaces in between, there is only one. It is the allness of life, and I know that it is everywhere present and everywhere active. It is the power that creates worlds, and I call it God. I call it spirit. I call it love. I know that it is who and what I am. And as I know this truth for myself, I know this truth for each and every other being. There's nothing that can ever separate us from our true nature, the nature of the infinite and eternal light of the divine. We are individualized expressions of this thing I call God, and I know that we are unified with it and with each other. And so I speak this word from this place of connectedness. And what I know is that this service is blessed and is a blessing. We're so grateful for every heart and hand that contributed to this service, including our viewers. I know that this community is open and ready to receive answered prayers in the form of more growth and prosperity, greater capacity for love and acceptance, and in the form of the right and perfect minister to travel with us on this beautiful journey. For this and so much more, I'm completely filled with gratitude. I'm tingling with excitement and expectancy for the highest and best for Columbia Center for Spiritual Living. And so I release this prayer into the law, knowing that it has no recourse other than to say yes, than to fulfill this prayer answered completely and fully in greater ways than I could ever imagine. We simply let go and allow it to be so. And so it is.
Thank you, Cindy and Reggie, for that beautiful time of spiritual practice. Would you love to have more of that sacred spiritual connection? Our practitioners and ministers are eager to support you in living from this place. Feel free to email your request for prayer or counseling to prayer@columbiacsl.com, and we will hold your truth in prayer throughout the week. And now I'm delighted to introduce once again Felicia Taylor to give us more music for the soul.
This is a song I wrote called Light Inside the Dark.
I can feel the sun shine down on my face. Fills me up with light and warmth inside to guide me through this day. I can feel the grace as the wind touches my skin. I look to the sky and see dragonflies. I found my peace within, and so I close my eyes and look within my heart. And so I close my eyes to find you there, but you are always there, the light inside the dark. Take my hand and come into my dream. I see waters colored blue and green, the most beautiful thing you ever seen. Feel the clouds so soft pass us by. A never-ending fairy tale, flying through the sky. And so I close my eyes and look within my heart. And so I close my eyes to find you there, but you are always there, the light inside the dark. Light So I close my eyes and I look within my heart. So I close my eyes to find you there. And you are always there, light inside the dark. And you are always there, light inside the dark. Yes, you are always there, light inside the dark.
Thank you, Felicia, for sharing your gifts. And now it is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Reverend Jenna Wexler, continuing with this month's theme of self-care with her message entitled Respect for the Unknown. Help me please welcome Reverend Jenna.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, it's such a joy to be here, and good morning to everyone who's live streaming or whenever you may be on replay. We welcome all of you, for we are all spirit family. So, respect for the unknown. Does that sound like a little strange?
I think it's feedback on that.
Got it? I mean, usually I think of fear for the unknown, right? But respect for the unknown? I'll tell you what happened. I was rereading a series of books late last year, early this year. I considered donating them, and I thought, well, they were interesting, and they sort of nudged me a little bit on the spiritual seeking. So let me go back and reread them. I haven't read them for 20 years. And they're fiction. They're fun. They're creative. And in one of the books, the author talks about respect for the unknown. And it just stopped me. You're reading along, and it just stopped me. It's a respect for the unknown. I don't know what that means. And it became my theme, my personal theme for this year. Respect for the unknown. I can't say that I really know what it means, but as you move with it, live with it, you start to get a feel for it. And some things just defy words, right? On our human journey on planet Earth, we are continually living in a field of unknowns. How many red lights am I going to get on my way over here? Where did I put my keys? All the way over to, when am I ever going to meet my life love? Or when am I going to die and how am I going to die? We have this huge span. Am I being let go from my job today? There's all sorts of unknowns. And what do we generally feel about those unknowns? Fear for the unknown, right? But how do we respect that? That's a different ballgame. But it's one that we can choose. And it's like, make friends with your enemies, befriend your enemies sort of thing. It's like, whoa, there is some expansiveness and power to respecting that unknown and learning how to do that. Because is life prescribed? No. We sort of like to feel that we know what's happening, that, oh, this is customary or this feels stable because I've been here before and I can trust it, right? But that gets to be a rut and it gets to be boring. And life, it's so cliche. Life is about taxes and death and change, right? Change. And yet we so resist that. We can see the claw marks on the walls, right? With regard to change. And, some of these are bigger than just, how many red lights am I going to get on my way over here. From the standpoint that as humans on this planet, we have kicked the can down the road for a long time with regard to social inequities, with regard to the environment, with regard to climate, et cetera, pollution, and so forth. And all of those things can be ignored, perhaps, for a little bit. But when we ignore them overall and continually, because we don't want to deal with them, or maybe we're afraid of them, or maybe we're not in agreement on what to do, so we do nothing, or we need more research, and research can go on forever because life is changing, right? That we are at a point, every one of us on this planet, where we may be approaching those tipping points, those breaking points. And then there's a lot of unknown, even more so than we have now. So farmers, I grew up in Illinois. I tell people I grew up in an oasis in the cornfields. Now think of Pennsylvania and turn it vertical. That's about the size of Illinois. 27 million acres of farmland. It looks flat, like a table. If you were to do a painting of Illinois, it would be a rectangle. There would be one line. Below it would be green, or perhaps ochre for the fall, and above it would be blue for the sky. That's it. Now you've painted Illinois. But there's some truth to that. But the thing is, farmers from the beginning of time deal with unknown. The reason the solstice is so powerful, and indigenous peoples, from the beginning of time, we've celebrated that point in December where the light starts to come back, because that's what fuels life. And so it's like, we've made it through that unknown into the next cycle that is rebirth and new life, right? So the farmers don't know from year to year, or even within this year. I've invested money, I've bought seed and everything else. I have massive loans and all my equipment, but I don't know what the weather's going to be. Am I going to get flooded out when the seeds are just starting? Is there going to be drought and everything just dries out in the field and I have nothing to take to harvest and profit from? And that's annual, and that's a big unknown. They stake their livelihood and their families on that, and they live in that presence. So even this week, the articles that came back, that rainwater now is toxic because there's forever chemicals in the rainwater. We have unknowns everywhere. And thank you, Felicia, for that beautiful song, Breathing Underwater, because that is a form of faith and resilience. All of these stress us. And so it's a part of our nature. It's a part of the nature of the world when it's out of balance. And how do we be in self-care when there is so much unknown, more than what we've been used to? So I want to ask you, what really is the unknown? Now, I went, I did a Google search, who doesn't, on respect for the unknown. One usable quote. One other quote was very poetic and flowery and convoluted. And I thought, wow, this is interesting. All of Google, only one quote. I looked at the unknown. Okay, here's some fertile ground here. So it's not a common topic in some ways. Perhaps the indigenous people would think of Coyote Trickster, and they really revered Coyote Trickster because they knew that that generated newness and prompted us to grow out of our rut. Or maybe we go to astrologers or tarot card reading, or, because we want some inkling about, what am I facing? Let me get a little hint of what might be coming to assuage that fear, right? It's fear. And what happens when we fear something? We start to want to control it, right? Rein it in, fix it, get rid of it. You know, spray Roundup on our fear. Don't spray Roundup on organic. But it's that tendency to be controlling and to stay in the rut because that's what's familiar. But that blocks change. And if there's one thing we know from the religious and spiritual realms, change is one of the dynamics, if not the dynamic. It's about creativity. And we can't be creative when we're locked and holding on. That doesn't mean we throw the baby out with the bathwater. It just means that we start to discern, as we often do in prayer, what is mine to release and what is mine, that goes forward. And we can be creative in that way into the unknown. And the unknown, when we get faced with it, it's that thing that goes and pops our bubble, right? So that we start to reach beyond where we've been into the unknown. But that's where cross-fertilization starts to happen. And as we know from the plant kingdom, all the nature kingdom, fertilization is where growth comes from, and the blending of more than one source. The other reactions we have to fear of the unknown or to not respecting the unknown is we may go into deflection or addiction as our way of, if we're not controlling it, then let me get away from it, right? And we go to this place when we're in fear, especially of something unknown, of resorting to human, 3D, third dimension, ways of approaching it. Simon Sinek has a very, very, very powerful TED Talk, one of the most listened to TED Talks ever. And it's about why rather than how. That he encourages us to focus on the why, because that's purpose, that's inspiration, that is what carries us. If we go right away to how, it's a limiting belief because we limit what we're doing to what is known and available at that time. When we go to the why, there's inventions all the time. And why it lets us go into, out of our bubble and into places that we don't know in this moment, but that are there, that can be instrumental to that navigating the unknown. So that one quote I found about respect for the unknown, this falls into self-care. Came from an article on the 10 factors that contribute to emotional wellness. Respect for the unknown, letting go of the need to control and know everything we think we need to know about a situation. Respecting the unknown means that we acknowledge that in many of life's circumstances, we can't possibly know how things will unfold. That's part of the mystery. I'm ad-libbing here. Sometimes it's helpful to say to ourselves, I don't get to know this right now. And how often has something happened that we don't understand? It's unknown to us. But in retrospect, we go, oh, now I get it. Oh, if that had never happened, then something else could not have happened, right? And if we'd known in that moment, it may have altered our trajectory and how we personally lived into it and wove life into it. So Simon Sinek says the challenge of the unknown futures is so much more exciting than the stories of the accomplished past. And that's, instead of fearing it, going, oh, an adventure. Now, some of these adventures are heavier than others, are more fearful than others. 5 red lights instead of 2 isn't that impactful. But having an allergic reaction to something is of a different, right? So I'm not saying all unknowns are the same, but we can learn how we navigate and respond to those unknowns. So let's get out of the how. And that already is unknown territory for us, because each unknown has a different how, right? Now, the same thing happened to me years and years and years ago. I was reading Caroline Myss's book, interesting title, Defy Gravity. And how many of you know Caroline Myss? She's a revered mystic. She's been partnering very recently on a series with Matthew Fox. And in this book, Defy Gravity, there was like this little section of pages that's just like, I've never read something so potent in that point in my life. And one of the things she said is, we are living past, we are no longer in the age of reason. That became my theme, and it's still one of my themes. Beyond the age of reason. It's like, how do I be out of duality? Beyond the age of reason. Where do I go? How do I go? You know, we are so ingrained in this culture to give a rational response, to analyze, right? That's part of the how. But to be out of the age of reason, ooh. But let's think about movies and books that really grab us. What are they about? They're about some character who's faced with an unknown. And how do they navigate it? And that inspires us. It's like Joseph Campbell's The Hero Journey. And the indigenous comparative to that is those rite of passage ceremonies, you know, in which somebody goes on, you know, it's survival journey on their own into the unknown of the forest without their people around them. One of my personal ones was my fiance had 18 hours he had to take in summer to finish his degree. And 2 courses happened to be at the same time. Didn't know how to co-locate, right? We still are trying to figure that one out, all of us. So I agreed to audit this 1 credit hour Fortran class. That was a filler class just to meet the number of requirements, right? My background was in studio art, visual art, and sociology. But I agreed to do this because I love this person. And it was helpful to do this. It was what orchestrated getting this degree finished. And as I took this Fortran class, it's like, I have an aptitude for this. Who would have guessed? An artist and a sociologist, but I have an aptitude for Fortran. What ended up several years later is a career change. You know, that was the inception point. Because I said, yeah, it's only for 2 or 3 months. I'll go be in that unknown. Now, I won't take your test for you, but I had to know enough of it to tutor him so he could take the test, right? But it changed my whole trajectory in my professional career. That simple unknown. So the self-care aspect, I ask you, when you're facing one of this, is first of all, let's ask ourselves, why am I resisting this invitation for growth and opportunity? How can I reframe this so that I am responding from a place of adventure and opportunity? You know, and we're in that fearful place, but that's a starting point. That starting point opens the door for just a little, you know, it's that starting crack that lets something come in, right? So, unknown on steroids can be chaos. And does anybody else sort of sense that, well, let me ask you this. Have any of you noticed an umbilical cord attached to the earth? Anyone? No, I haven't either. Which means on this planet, we're it, right? We're it. We're in this together and we're it. It's a closed loop system in terms of the planet. In terms of the whole cosmos, we know something else. But we're it. And the thing about chaos is there's 3 phases. And if you're curious to read more, I did a series on this 2 years ago in the summer. And a great place to read into this is a book called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Chaos. But there's 3 basic phases. One is there's balance. You know, we start with everything in the synergistic balance. That would be Genesis, after God created everything. That would be the point where everything was in synergistic balance. But then some things start to get out of balance. And as one thing starts to get out of balance, then something else, you know, it's like tentacles, something else starts to get out of balance, right? Until we have so much imbalance that it hits a tipping point. Does that sound familiar to where we are today? Not just our individual lives, but as a society and as a world with the environment and the climate and so forth. So what happens when it gets to that point where it's so imbalanced, it hits a breaking point? That's when everything goes into chaos. That's the Kali Ma story, the deconstruction story. And, you know, it's like the caterpillar going into the chrysalis and it dissolves literally, right? It's that necessary point of everything having to go into such an unknown and experiment and try this and do this and see if this works until some new synergistic whole system balance can be reestablished, but in a new way, not the old way, in a new way. And that's what chaos is about. Scares us like crazy. Thinking about climate collapse or whatever else. But we're facing that. And as spiritual community, we can be empowered to work on this and face this together and learn skills of resilience. That's what the invitation is. That's what the unknown is here. Is that invitation of how do I step forward moment by moment when I'm faced with all this unknown. And that is part of major self-care for us to engage in now. So part of that includes learning resilient skills. How can I live resiliently? Some of it may be sustainability. Certainly it involves massive inclusivity, practicing inclusivity beyond racial inclusivity. All level inclusivity in the world. For me this summer, it's been looking at vegetables self-aborting on the vine, or some critter getting into it and nibbling it and just wanting to go, oh, what do I do about this? But that's the how, right? That's the human level response to it. How can I fix this? But then I stepped back and I said, wait a minute, nature has a great wisdom. And nature has a different agenda than I do. I just want as many vegetables off the vine as I can. Well, that's a very small-minded, right? Let me be grateful and let me know and live in balance with nature that there's a greater wisdom here. And that nature is feeding me, okay. Let me be okay with the fact that nature has a way of feeding itself and not be in defense or waging war with the natural world. And so it's been my teacher on this regard this summer, you know, to be in a different relationship. So I want to say, perhaps the greatest unknown that we have is God. We want to think that we know what God is. A lot of religions are so entangled in defining what God is. But humans aren't God. God is God, right? And so part of being in relationship, partnering with that great unknown, the greatest of all unknowns, is saying, yeah, just as that quote on emotional wellness, I don't get to know this right now. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's part of the mystery of life. That is part of the excitement. That's part of the opportunity. That's part of how I get to grow. And so it's a different way of relating with God. Honoring, respecting that mystery, respecting that unknown, because it is laden with gifts and growth and opportunity for us if we can work with it and be resilient and know that we are supported, and that support comes in so many ways. I was on a resilience call earlier this week, and a person was saying, I had shoulder surgery, and I could barely move at that level, and I was in a business meeting, and my shoes came untied. And that's something I couldn't do. And suddenly, somebody else, all suited up in the business meeting, dropped down to the floor, noticed this, dropped down to the floor, and simply tied the man's shoes. That's support. That's whole living. It can be that simple, and it can be that powerful, because that stands out as something, as a shining moment in his life that he shares with others, of how we can be with each other and for each other. And that's how we live as spiritual community. Pema Chodron, the great Buddhist philosopher, said, letting there be room for not knowing is the most important thing of all. And Corrie ten Boom said, never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God. So I invite you into prayer. Together we know that God is the greatest unknown and the greatest wisdom and power. I remember, speaking on behalf of all of us, I remember I am always partnered with this greatest wisdom and power there is, the source of all creation, infinitely and eternally so. Everywhere present, everywhere active. I am never alone, and I am always one with God. Creativity moves from the unknown. I trust that God always knows a greater good in my life, in the life of everyone, in the life of this planet. Every moment I co-create my life from the unknown. I co-create my life from the unknown. I choose to respect the unknown with faith and trust, fully allowing and being willing. With respect, I choose to rely more on divine guidance. This is how I resiliently live into the unknown conditions in my life and in the world from a higher and more loving mindset than that which created them. This is how I gracefully navigate my way through times of unknowns, of chaos and change and opportunity. and a greater future for all. Thank you, God. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Jenna, for that inspiring message. And please join us next week at our virtual-only service, where Dr. Nadine will rejoin us with her talk entitled, Let Go of the Shore. Our guest musician next week will be Gary Lynn Floyd, and we hope you will join us on Facebook Live, Twitch TV, or YouTube. You can find the links on our website homepage. And now it is my pleasure to introduce, once again, Felicia Taylor.
This is a song I'm sure many of you won't know. It is called You Say by Lauren Daigle. But I love her. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I know, and I believe. Oh, I believe. Oh, you say of me, I believe. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe. What you say of me, I believe. I'm taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours,
Oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
One of my favorites. Thank you so much. Be sure to connect with Felicia after the service and check out her website, FeliciaTaylorMusic.com, to find out more about her music and passions. And now it's time for our conscious giving, an opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. I invite the ushers to come up and take the baskets for our conscious receiving and giving. We know that we have to receive as well as to give, so our ushers will pass around 2 baskets. The first basket will be filled with blessings of joy, and we invite you to let your divine inner wisdom choose the blessing or affirmation that calls to you. If you have an offering today, please hold it for the second basket. For our virtual viewers, feel free to choose a blessing of joy from the choices on the screen or something from your higher self. Keep this blessing with you all week long, and remember how much you are loved. Wonderful, thank you. And now we can complete the law of circulation by giving back. I invite you to invoke the feeling of gratitude through thoughts of infinite possibility right where you are, allowing that to fill you and the space around you. Now let us speak our affirmation prayer together. I know that the infinite abundance of the universe is blessing and expanding my offering for the good of all, and so it is. We gratefully receive your gifts and tithes. Your support means that we remain a vital and thriving center, contributing to a world that works for everyone. Oh, I sure did. Our thoughts are prayers. This is our offertory that we'll all sing together. Our thoughts are prayers. Thank you so much. And last but not least, we have a variety of ways to connect and engage in community, and we hope you stick around for the announcement slides after service and visit our website calendar for details and links to register for our events. We also have some great information on our back tables, such as our educational brochure, which includes information on our next Science of Mind accredited class, Revealing Wholeness, starting September 8th with Dr. Nadine, so check it out. And a class with Carol Pearson on the 10th. And I'm actually teaching a class on the 24th, I believe it's scheduled for, called Money Love. So there you have it. While you're back there at the table, we're asking everyone on the leadership team to take a stroke book out of the box. Julia, or Vanna, is holding them up now. Beautiful. Anyone want to buy a vow? Put your name on it. If you're on the leadership team, you're going to put your name on the book and write your intention on the first page. And then you place your book back into the box. Practitioners, we've acknowledged and celebrated our practitioners this year and our volunteers. And now we would like to invite all the members to write their gratitude in each of these stroke books for all those who have helped govern, guide, and steward this amazing community. Yeah, very cool. This is a beautiful idea. So on behalf of our entire community, thank you for being part of our spiritual family today, and we look forward to seeing you again. At the end of service, please remember to check out our announcement slides and our website calendar, columbiacsl.com/events, to make sure you know everything that's coming up in our community. And now I invite you to stand as we sing our closing song, Stand, by Karen Drucker.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand. I'm gonna stand up for joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
All right. Woo! Reverend Jenna, please close this service with an affirmation to take with us for the week.
I know God is the greatest unknown and the greatest known. I trust and believe that I am divinely led and guided always towards a greater good. And I partner with the unknown in my life. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.